So today's topic basically is the growth of private television channels in India. Now, in Indian history of broadcasting, what happened is that till 1990s, the entire control of television and radio was in the hands of the government. And then in 1990s, the big changes came in. But before that, let me tell you the factors which has led to the growth of the television private channels. So one by one, we'll look into these factors. One is the satellite transmission. India did a site experiment where it shifted to from terrestrial transmission to satellite transmission. Then we had a shift to color, and then in the 1980s we had the rise of the cable television network, which penetrated all across India. And then we had good content where you can earn revenues, like the start of soap operas nowadays. So there is a big business involving serials. And then Supreme Court in 1995 gave a big judgment where it said that uh, the airwaves or the broadcast frequencies should not be the monopoly of the government. And then we'll talk about the revenue model, which is advertisements, through which the entire industry is sustaining right now. So India basically its television started in 15th September 1959. That was the beginning of television in India. This was limited only to few areas of Delhi. And then till 1959 and till the 1980s, all transmission was terrestrial. For example, any television broadcasting studio had a transmitter, and then you had a receiver at the home of a person. For example, in 90s, if I was a kid in 90s, so we had those antennas which used to pick up signals from the transmitter of the particular television channel or the studio. So that's how earlier television signals were transmitted. Everything till then was terrestrial, so nothing going into the space. But what happened here was that the reach was very limited through terrestrial transmission, and basically how far the transmitter could transmit signals, that much only was the reach. Now in 1975, with the help of United States and UNESCO, India did their satellite instructional television experiment. Now this experiment lasted for 1 year, and for that we had leased a satellite from United States. Basically that satellite was ATS-6. And this experiment, the main crux of this experiment was that can we use the satellite to reach a larger audience. So this was the main purpose of site experiment, to see whether television signal can be transmitted to a large audience. And this experiment, terrestrial transmitter, now studios had an earth station. Now from this earth station you could now uplink the television signals to the satellite. Now what happens is that from the satellite you have receivers placed in different villages. Now there were 2,400 villages which were selected from 6 regions of India. And in these villages you had these receivers to pick up satellite signals. And apart from that, from the studio or from where the programs were produced, you had the uplinking process where signals were sent to the satellite, and from there, from the satellites, the signals were bounced to different villages of India where they had these receivers to pick up the signals. So this is the shift which happened in 1975 and 1976 through this experiment. Earlier, what was there? Terrestrial transmission, where everything happened in the atmosphere of the earth. Now what happened was that now signals were bounced from the satellite so that it could reach a larger audience base residing in different parts of the country. If you go to YouTube, you can also see the videos of site. You even photographs are there where in a village people used to come in groups and sit down in front of the television whenever the programs were broadcasted. Now, through the site experiment, TV showed the potential to become a big mass media, because what is the purpose of mass media? It should reach a larger audience, whether it's your television, whether it's your newspapers, whether it's your magazines, or now the social media. The crux of mass medium is that the word mass itself is that you need to reach a larger audience. The media has to reach a larger audience. Now, the television showed its potential that now we can reach a larger audience base in India. And that is why the Indian government partnership with the United States, and they conducted other things also. One among them was that they also started color broadcasting for the first time. And apart from that, because the satellites were successful in transmitting television signal, India also started its own satellite communication program, which was INSAT. ISRO started the INSAT programs to use satellites for the communication, and this happened in the late 70s. If I'm not wrong, they started the program in 78, and then in 82 there was the INSAT 1A being launched into the space. Apart from that, site experiment was till 1976, because the lease of the satellite ended, and so the program ended. Remember, I said that United States leased the ATS-6 satellite for a year. And in the same year, in 1976, Doordarshan was separated from the All India Radio. So ISRO launched INSAT 1A in space in 1982. And another major milestone, as I told you, in Indian television was the coverage of the 9th Asian Games, which were totally in color. So this was the first time that you had color TV, color broadcasting coming in India. So 1982 is important, was that the broadcasted started in color, and apart from that, through the satellite, now the Doordarshan provided national coverage. So because of the satellites, you can reach people in Delhi, you can reach people in Andhra Pradesh. So this was the significance of the site experiment, or what followed after that, after the INSAT 1A launched. Satellites gave you a big audience, and apart from that, programming was in color. Yeah. And now, because of the satellite, Doordarshan is now reaching to other broadcasters in many other countries. So two things happened here. Because of the satellites, the reach increased, and now transmission was in color. So obviously people shifted from black and white to color, because it gives you a more pleasing effect, and because of the satellite, the reach has increased. So any private player will invest only if you have a big market, and if you have a good content or a revenue generating content. Now what happened in 1980s, we had an audience, we had a way to reach the audience, and apart from that, now was the rise of the soap operas or the serials. You may ask why soap operas for the name of serials, because in Mexico, when the serials started, soap companies used to sponsor those serials. So that's why the name came as soap operas to serials. So you have a market, now you have to supply good content so that you can earn revenue. So what happened in 1980s was that two Mexican serials were used for development purposes. What they did was that they reduced the birth rate, as well as they increased literacy. Those days, literacy was a big thing. Now at least it has improved. And this success of these two serials to impress the Indian government. In those days, you had the Indira Gandhi's government, and the director of these serials, Miguel Sabido, came and met Indira Gandhi, and he gave this idea to him that to her that India should also have its own serials. So that is how it started, the serials, because of the Mexican programs, the success of two Mexican programs, which is Ven Conmigo and Acompaname. I hope I got it right. So these two serials prompted India to start its own serial programs for the purpose of information and education. And Miguel Sabido, because he used this mix of entertainment and education, obviously, in simple term, it's infotainment. They had a good effect on the audience, because if you are hiding educational messages through entertainment programs, obviously people will take it, and that's what happened in Mexico. So based on this success of the Mexican programs, India started its own soap opera, or the first serial, which is the Hum Log serial in 1984. So this is the first serial, and this became a big hit in India. People used to watch Hum Log like anything. But now what happened is that the idea was to show them content which the idea was to change their behavior in terms of alcoholism or any other social evil which existed. And apart from that, boosting literacy and reducing poverty was the main aim of that serial. So that people, by watching those serials, adapted these changes into their life. But what happened was that people, instead of learning something, they fell for the entertainment value, and they watched this serial only for the purpose of entertainment. But this uh, was not something bad, because serials increased the revenues of the private televisions, which I'm going to talk about later. And it also increased the revenue of Doordarshan, because it was selling its space to private players for ads or their programs at a higher price now, because soap operas or serials brought in a huge audience to the private players, where they could market their advertisements. Now, Maggie Noodles was one of the sponsors of the first serial, which is the Hum Log. And as I told you, the message was lost in the mad popularity of the serial, and people watched it for the entertainment rather than the informational or educational value. And then the success of Hum Log made DD make more programs like Bunyad, Katta Sagar, Khandan, Nukkad. And these were all those entertainment programs which were very famous during the 1980s and the early 1990s. And because the serials were famous, as I told you, it brought in telecast fees, and commercial airtime on DD began rising. So these two aspects began rising, and revenue rose because of the popularity of these serials. So a revenue model was ready. Now you have the audience. Now you had how to reach the audience. Now you had a revenue model where through soap operas and through advertisements you can earn money. So why would the private people stay out of an industry which is giving you profits and which is increasing its revenue? So even if there is profits, if there is a large market, obviously any private player will invest in that market. And in 1990s, 1 lakh to 5 lakhs were charged as telecast fees from the private players for airtime to give their own content. Now 1 to 5 lakhs were a lot of money in those days. So now you had a good content, you have a good revenue generating model. Apart from that, although that we had satellite transmission, the reception quality was not great. Now in Mumbai in 1980s, there was this rise of the cable TV. Now I can't give you the exact date, but some places it is given as 1985, but I'm not sure of that year. So maybe during 1980s, in the early part of 1980s, you had the rise of cable TV in Mumbai, because now people far off places also did not receive good signals, especially if you are living away from the city, or if, for example, you are living in somewhere around the mountains or far away places from the city. The signals were not that great. So for better reception, this cable industry started in Mumbai in the 1980s. So if a question comes in your examination, uh, in your net examination, 1985 is the year which they have cited. So remember that. And cable took off also because of the hosting of Asian Games in New Delhi in 1982 by Doordarshan. Now, after this, Doordarshan hosted a lot of sports program because this also brought revenue. Then cricket came in, so cricket also brought revenues for Doordarshan, and this sporting events also made sure that people wanted some better reception from the uh, cable operators. Okay. And the same problem was in United States also, because far off places, hilly areas, people were not getting signals properly, and that is where you had cable operators uh, giving these signals through a proper cable. I was born in the 90s, so I have seen the that antennas eras also. I have seen cable also. Now I'm seeing DTH also. These three eras I have seen. So I still remember adjusting my antenna on my terrace to get better reception. Then came in the cable. So after the cable, obviously things changed and we had better quality of content.
So one question.
Yeah.
So DD color was after the cable, right? DD was black and white, and DD became color only after the introduction of cable in India.
See, the exact some citations are 1985 for cable in Mumbai.
Okay.
Color came in 1982.
So it was first color and then
yeah,
the cable.
Yeah, it was first color.
Okay.
Right. So obviously in United States in 1960s, this demand happened where you needed a better quality picture, and then cable operators came in and solved that problem. Whereas in India, it began in mid 80s. And cable operators now, because they have this end-to-end reception where they were sending signals to the audiences or the receivers sitting or the people sitting at home, now they were playing these movies to earn money, extra money. So so because of this extra income also, they were expanding their networks. So, and this is how cable TV grew in India. And but what happened is that there was a check on these measures, because films were under copyright. Now the film is under copyright. It is seen as someone's intellectual property, and you cannot screen films basically without the permission of the people who have made those films. So in a judgment in 1989, Justice Sujata Manohar of the Mumbai High Court said that or gave an order that broadcast via cable was for public viewing. So now public was watching these films, and hence cable operators needed a copyright to show these films. You cannot show these films because a general public was watching it. So through this judgment, they brought cable TV under the copyright laws in India. So you needed a copyright or permission from the owner to telecast a film. So this made sure that some kind of control was there on the cable operators. Yeah. At the same time, in the late 1980s and early 1990s, cable TV was also pushing the sales of the television sets up. So now, because of shift to color TVs came into existence in the Indian market. I had my first TV in '97, so I still remember that. I was 7 years old, And so because of this cable, the sales of the television sets were also increasing. And by 1990, the year I was born, there were 3,500 cable operators in Mumbai. And the growth of cable TV increased in the 1990s. The rise of DTH was after the beginning of the second millennium, 2000s. The DTH came into existence. In those days also there was criticism that in countries in the United States, countries like United States, only 15% of the population had DTH. Why are you bringing DTH into India at such a big level? Because there still cable TV is very popular in United States. But I don't know what was the policy changes, and then the Indian market was flooded with DTH services. Now, yeah, now cable TV is a big network, and it is facing a tough competition in India because of the DTH operators. Although in most part of Secunderabad, my area, cable TV is completely gone. Now, apart from that, let's come to the today's topic, which is the growth of private channels. Now you had a larger audience, you had a revenue generating model, which is through serials or through popular programs, you can earn money by showing advertisements. So you had the audience, you had a revenue generating model, you have the technology to reach this audience. So why would the private player stay away from a business which is earning you a lot of money? And as I told you, until 1990, Doordarshan was the only television broadcaster. And a big judgment came in 1995, where Supreme Court stated that airways are not the monopoly of the Indian government. So this is a very landmark judgment. Most of the time, it has appeared in the exam of UGC NET. This is their favorite question. And basically, this judgment made sure that private players can come into the broadcasting market. And this gave rise not only to different private television channels, even FM radio, which is a big business right now in India, where you had so many channels across India now. Also, there was some kind of liberalization of the broadcasting market through the help of this judgment. Very important judgment in 1995, which opened the broadcasting industry to the private players. And apart from that, the growth of private channels was also because of, as I told you, satellite technology made sure that we have a larger market now. And then you had the GPL process. What is GPL? Globalization, privatization, and the liberalization of the Indian economy. Now, GPL ensured that you have now private players coming into the market. They can invest, especially the foreign direct investment, where you have people from abroad investing in the Indian market. So now money is also coming from outside the country with the help of the liberalization of the economy. So this helped the media industry. And then the first channel which India started, actually what happened was that in the 1990s, in the early 1990s, you had CNN showing the Gulf War, and signals were coming directly through the satellite, and people were watching that program or watching that channel. Subsequently, Star, which is a very big network right now, owned by Rupert Murdoch, who almost, if I can say, earns at least the 15 to 20% of all media around the world right now, saw a potential in the Asian cable market. And he launched, along with an Indian company, he launched Zee TV, which was born in 1992. This is the India's first Hindi channel, or first channel which India started. Zee TV was the first channel. Then Star came in. Now, because of the success of the cable market, Rupert Murdoch launched the Star TV. So first Zee and then Star. And then subsequently, Star brought in a bouquet of channels. Star has so many channels. It brought in Star Gold, Star Movies, and all those channels came in after the success of the cable industry and the size of the Indian market. Obviously, they started investing because Zee was also doing well. You had Doordarshan doing well. In the late 90s, you had also MTV coming. You had VTV, you had Nickelodeon, all channels were coming from the abroad now because the Indian market is opened for all. And Star also in its channel, Star TV, had a contract with NDTV to give news, but that ended in 2002, and then Star formed its own team to air news. And apart from that, in the south also, you had these regional channels coming up: Sun TV, Asianet, Enadu. All these channels came in because there was a big market now where private players saw a potential in the private television industry. And then you had CNN, BBC, every international popular channel coming into India because now you had a good revenue model where you can make money out of ads, and you had a good market. So this made sure that the private channels market, television private channels market, increased in India. And then subsequently, other networks also gave a bouquet of channels such as the Sun, TV18, partly which is owned by Reliance, and then Star. And private channels basically continue to rule Indian broadcasting in the industry because people prefer them more because their content in terms of quality is better than the content which public broadcasters give. For example, if you compare the serials of Doordarshan and the serials of Star TV, Sony, or Zee TV, you know the difference in the production quality as well as the quality of content. And obviously, when you give good quality of content to the people, you'll get a better television rating points, which brings you advertisements. And then you can, with the help of TRPs, you can charge good for your advertisements, and this will bring you a lot of money, whoever is owning the channel or producing this content. For your information, and entertainment and movie channels earn a lot of ad revenue in India. News channels are running in losses, but they have other ways of earning revenues. So this is how the private channels in India grew. First, let me go back to the first slide. So yeah, these were the factors that led to the growth. So because of satellite transmission, you have a big market. People enjoyed color programs. Cable TV ensured that there was better reception, and now you can offer a lot of channels. And then the soap operas or the serials gave you a good revenue generating model. And then the market was liberalized because of the 1995 judgment, where it said that airways are public property and it cannot be the monopoly of the Indian government. And obviously, when you have a good revenue model, people will invest in your industry. And that is how private television channels came into India.